we have to understand that the beings that are out there, and by the way, their intent, they may think that what they are doing is right, God-given, divine, better than our. I mean, they may think they're doing the best of all things for us, right? Mm-hmm. And they may inadvertently or intentionally alter us fundamentally, right? And so in 100 years, we're no longer the humans we were. Now, you could say, well, but maybe we live longer, or maybe there's less war. It's like, yeah, but what if there's a piece of, electrical technology installed in your brain, and, the urge for creativity or the urge for compassion or the divine connection is not there. So it's like, and the NHI, they thought they were doing the right thing. They were bringing us into the fold of the Gaian reality of our ecosystem, which is of technological societies. But what if we lose something fundamentally valuable? And I hold on to the fundamental value of humanity. I know a lot of folks seem inclined to dispose of that. Like, we're aggressive, we're primitive, we're destroying ourselves in the world. A lot of that's true. But there's also great goodness at the heart of the species. And I don't know if that's at the heart of the expression of those visiting our world. So before we just toss that out and say, yes, let's enter the Gaian cyborg ecosystem of hyper technology, it's like, well, hold on a minute. Like, what do we have as a civilization and as a species? I mean, let's think about that, because cultural erasure is a trend, at least in the interaction of advanced and more primitive societies in human history. And so we could lose our culture. We could lose the cherished assets that have been striven for over millennia, and people have laid their lives down for them. And so, and it's not because there's a malevolence interacting with us. It could be indifference. They just don't value what we value. Now, but what do we value? And that's where I land with this, even through all of the alien intent, decoding and kind of the process that I've put out there. It's really more about us than it is about them. And when people want to abandon the human cause and say team alien, I worry about that, and that to me looks like, a betrayal of logic, if not a betrayal of affiliation and species identity. But like, it's about what we humans need to do to get our act together, to engage coherently with our human intent and value structure with other forms of life, and negotiate the engagement like all life forms have to do. Even non-sentient life forms, they encounter each other in the ecosystem. They're chasing the same fruit, they're the same prey, and then they negotiate capability and intent. Mm-hmm. And that sometimes one species outcompetes the other, and that's the story of evolution. Adaptation, competition, adaptation, winning through or dying off. And so I don't know if the universe cares about us, but I think we should care about us.
I mean, it's really profound what you just said, because, you start questioning, like, why do we care that we're humans? I mean, it just brings up a whole bunch of really interesting pondering points.
Right.
And you think about, maybe the reason that species is so successful is because of some of their attributes and throwing away some of the ones we have, and like, maybe that is good. And then you have people who, also when you're talking, I can imagine people saying like, oh man, humans suck. Let's get rescued by the aliens. But what if
I hear that
suck worse,
shockingly a lot?
Yeah. I mean, you can't, until you know their intent and you can evaluate it and you can trust it. You can't make that assessment,
Right. But what is human value? I mean, that's the other side of the coin. Because if you've hit the emotional pits with humanity, the NHI could demonstrate mildly hostile behavior. You may still say that's better than us, who demonstrate vastly hostile behavior. And so by what do you judge them? I would say, by what do you judge us? I mean, you think we're so bad? Do you know what's out there? I mean, you look at what some of these abductees come home saying they saw. It's like, well, we don't do that to each other.